Welcome to the PrEP Performance Measures overview. In this brief video, we'll define the performance measures and explain their importance. We'll start with an explanation of why the performance measures matter and move from there into a high-level overview of where they're drawn from, the categories of the measures, and the schedule for collecting and submitting them. We'll also describe what happens with the performance measures after they're submitted, as well as an example of how you can use the data. Finally, we'll wrap up with information about how to get performance measures help if and when you need it. Why are the performance measures important? The performance measures allow ACF, the federal agency responsible for PrEP programs, to show the value of PrEP programs in serving youth populations to ultimately prevent adolescent pregnancy and STIs. The performance measures provide ACF with the data needed to ensure grantees can continue to provide PrEP programming to youth in their communities. But the performance measures aren't only about compliance requirements. ACF recognizes how much effort and work goes into collecting the data, and they genuinely want the data to be used for broader purposes, including their own support of grantee efforts and informing and strengthening the adolescent pregnancy prevention field as a whole. One of the ways grantees can use performance measures is through continuous quality improvement. ACF is committed to encouraging CQI as a regular part of each grantee's work. Data can be a great tool for helping grantees identify their program's strengths and discover the areas where they have the greatest opportunities for growth and improvement. Grantees report performance measures data to ACF that originate from multiple levels: participants, programs, providers, and grantees. Some explanation of these levels might be helpful, so let's do a little of that. Youth who participate in PrEP programs provide data through entry and exit surveys. The program models, seen here in purple, represent different curriculum models being implemented. Some providers and grantees use multiple program models, and others use just one. Providers, in green, are the organizations that work directly with youth, delivering those programs. Some providers are PrEP grantees, in which case they report the grantee as a provider in the performance measures. Other providers are subrecipients that receive funding through a PrEP grantee. So on the left side of the diagram, you see providers who are subrecipients to a grantee. On the right side is a grantee that provides the programming directly to youth. As you can see here, all of the data from these different levels funnel into ACF through the process of performance measures data submission. There are three broad categories of performance measures. They are structure, cost, and support for program implementation, attendance reach and dosage, and participant characteristics, behaviors, program experiences, and perceptions of program effects. The data collected for that third category comes from the entry and exit surveys that youth participants complete as they begin and end a program. The first set of measures focuses on the structure and cost of and support for program implementation. They provide information for understanding the roles of grantees, providers, and other partners, resource allocation, and decisions and information about program models. The measures of structure, cost, and support are reported at the grantee, provider, and program levels and cover things like funding, staffing, training, observations, technical assistance, delivery hours, and target populations. In cases where the grantee is also a provider, both grantee level and provider level information should be reported for the same organization. The second set of measures focuses on attendance, reach, and dosage data. These measures provide information on the number of youth served overall and by the setting in which they were served, the number who completed at least 75% of scheduled program hours, and whether the majority of youth served were in a highly vulnerable population. The final set of measures focus on program participants' characteristics, behaviors, program experiences, and perceptions of program effects. They are collected through participant entry and exit surveys and provide information on the demographic characteristics of youth who participate in PrEP, participants' behaviors related to sexual activity and the adulthood preparation subjects, their experiences in the PrEP programs, and their perceptions of the program's effects on them. Entry survey data are submitted for all youth who begin a program during a certain data collection period, even if those youth do not complete the program during the same period. Likewise, exit survey data are submitted for all youth who complete programs during the data collection period. Note that the participant entry and exit surveys are not linked and are not intended to be used as pre-post surveys to assess changes from entry to exit, which would be inappropriate without a control group. PrEP grantees and their program providers collect performance measures data throughout the year as their programs are being implemented. However, to avoid overburdening grantees, ACF does not require them to submit their performance measures data immediately after they are collected. Instead, grantees compile the data they collect throughout the year and then submit them during a set number of predefined data submission periods. Currently, there are 2 data submission periods each year: the winter data submission window, which is typically in January-February, and the summer data submission window, which is typically in July-August. ACF typically announces specific dates for an upcoming data submission window a few months before the window opens. The measures of attendance, reach, and dosage, and the measures of participant characteristics, behaviors, program experiences, and perceptions of program effects are submitted during both data submission windows. The data collection periods for each of those types of measures and data submission windows are also shown here. So, data collected for these measures between July 1st and December 31st are submitted in the winter submission window immediately following that 6-month period, and data collected between January 1st and June 30th are submitted in the summer submission window immediately following that 6-month period. The measures of structure, cost, and support are on a different schedule. These measures are submitted only once per year during the summer data submission window, and the structure, cost, and support data reported cover at that time the entire federal grant year, from October 1st through September 30th. During each data submission window, grantees and their program providers submit their performance measures to ACF through a secure online system. Details on this system and the submission process are available elsewhere on this website. But in brief, the process involves having one or more staff members log into the system and enter the required data on behalf of their grantee or program provider. Once data submission is complete, the performance measures data for all grantees are combined and housed in a single database. The data files are first reviewed for any missing or incomplete data and then made ready for use. One important use of the data is in the Performance Measures dashboard, which is part of the same online system grantees use to submit the data. The dashboard enables grantees to see the results for their specific programs and access their data. ACF also uses the data for other types of analysis and reporting, such as aggregating data across grantees and comparing findings across years. These analyses enable ACF to support grantees, strengthen the field, and inform policymakers and legislators on the important outcomes of the programs. As we mentioned in the beginning of this video, the performance measures are important for supporting and reporting grantee progress and success, informing program refinement and improvement, and expanding the knowledge base for use by the broader field of adolescent pregnancy prevention. As an example of what can be done with the performance measures, we want to highlight one specific resource ACF has developed using them. Grantees can use this fact sheet, which is available on the website, to help them communicate to providers, partners, and community members that their programs are part of a national effort that is making important progress. The fact sheets are updated every year. Grantees receive technical support and training on the performance measures through a contract ACF has with Mathematica, an independent organization of research and program professionals that has supported ACF with the PrEP performance measures for many years. We're here to help. If you have questions as you navigate the data collection and submission processes, the website, and the dashboard, please reach out to us. You can contact us through the Help Desk email address, prepperformancemessures@mathematica-mpr.com. That's prepperformancemessures@mathematica-mpr.com, or you can call us toll-free at 855-267-6270. The Help Desk operates from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday.